Now I've had this Mercedes Sprinter for a good 4 years. I've lived in it for the last 2 years. Now over the period of that time, and especially since living in my van full time, I've been constantly modifying it and upgrading it. And today I'm going to do something I've wanted to do for a long time, and that is remove the bulkhead and fit a swivel seat. After all, my Sprinter's only a medium wheelbase and I need to make as much use of the room inside the van as I possibly can. And I'm hoping it's going to transform the inside of my van, open it up and give me so much more living space. The only downside of course is I won't have anywhere to hang my coats anymore, but I think I'm going to have to figure that out as I go along. And after all, spring is here, so I don't really need a coat anyway. Just realised I might have to lay the new floor as well, because my floor only goes up to my bulkhead. This could be more involved than I imagined. I suppose I could keep a couple of these hooks and put them up here. Yeah, it's not so bad after all. We'll just make this up as we go along. After all, that's what I normally do. Now it would be really good if I could actually remember how I put this together, so I've got no choice but to actually go through my back catalogue of videos and watch one of my own videos, and hopefully I've made a video on how I've actually put this bulkhead in, because for the life of me I can't remember how it's screwed together. It's solid, that's for sure. I did a good job. Right. One of the benefits of having a YouTube channel, I guess. Better take this switch out. This is a switch for my Tiffany lamp. That's going to have to come out, isn't it? Oh, gross. This is a leftover Domino pizza box. That was a good 2 months ago. That would explain the funky smell in my van. Gross. I remember hiding the screws behind the carpet. Seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah, there they are, look. Originally this flap was going to be on hinges so that I could put shoes behind here. I never did get round to doing that. Now when I originally built my van I did do it on a tight budget, and this flooring actually came out of a skip. So yeah, I'm not too upset that I'm going to have to take the flooring out and replace it. It has served me well, so I think it's time to upgrade the floor as well. I'm hoping when I take this out that my overhead shelf is going to stay in place and it's not going to just, well, fall on the floor. Well, hey, I'll wait for that one. That's it, that's the bulkhead out. Now I've got so used to having this bulkhead here that straight away I feel like my van is a lot bigger. That's before I've even swiveled the seat around. Now like I said earlier, when I first built my van it was on a really tight budget. This was a budget camper van build. Because I was on a tight budget I couldn't afford to buy a single seat despite wanting to walk through. So I simply cut the back off of my double seat. That's why it's like it is now. That's probably one of the best things I've done, because it gives me the added benefit of keeping that double base and all that storage in there, and it's nice and secure as well. So if you've got a Mercedes Sprinter or a Volkswagen Crafter and you're thinking about converting it into a camper van and you want to walk through, save yourself a few quid. Don't buy a single seat, just simply cut the back off of your double seat. It works really well. If you want to see how I did this, I'll link that video at the end of this video. Well worth a look, especially if you've got a Mercedes Sprinter or a Volkswagen Crafter. Now the swivel base I brought didn't come with instructions. I was a little bit surprised by that, but on closer inspection it's really simple to do this. You really don't need instructions. There are 4 bolts holding the entire front seat down. These 2 are in the middle, one at the front, one at the back, and these 2, one in each corner at the rear of the seat. That is it. Once these 4 bolts are out, you can simply remove the entire seat. Oh, and I've disconnected the seat belt as well. Bloody heavy. There you go, one front seat. So here's the swivel seat that I brought online. A little bit disappointed because it did arrive bent. You can see this foot here is actually tucked under, probably damaged during transportation. Because part of the powder coating is actually chipped off there. You can see it's quite bad actually. Yeah, I've got to try and straighten that somehow. If I hold it up to the camera you can see that it is clearly bent. A little bit disappointed, but hey ho, it is what it is. I couldn't see a point in sending it back and ordering another one, or complaining for that matter, because if they send me out another one, chances are it's going to turn up bent as well. And by the way, I did actually buy this. This isn't a sponsored video. I bought this with my own money, but I did ask the company to send me a discount code that I could pass on to you guys. Unfortunately, they declined to send me a discount code. So for that reason, I'm not going to mention where I bought this swivel seat from. It bent one way, so it should bend the other, you'd think. Oh, it's going. Oops, so is everything else. Yeah, it's still that bit bent though, isn't it? I'll straighten that bit, but that's bent. What is it with me with bent stuff? My flares were bent, now my base is bent as well. Why can't people send me something that's straight for once? That's British engineering for you, I suppose. No wonder the Chinese do so well. Over 300 quid this was.
Yeah, it's expensive, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm having to do this shit. Which is the front and which is the back? I'm guessing that's the front edge, that's the back edge. So I want it that way like that. Yeah, that's got to be the back because they're the stands. Yeah, the seatbelt goes on there. So it goes in like that. Oh, don't recommend doing this on your own. Hey? That's right, I got it now. Thanks. Hopefully it'll fit. Yeah. Well, despite being bent, it fits. It's going to take a little bit of finesse, I think. Maybe you take these nuts out that they've put here, put them down there to hold the base in. Like I say, they didn't come with any instructions, so I've just got to try and figure it out yourself. But I do need to remove these, so I need some nuts. I'll need some nuts for the original bolts. Well, I'm going to have to take this off because I can't see bugger all with that on there. And it looks like the bottom bracket is bent that way so the holes don't line up. But the back holes really didn't line up, so I've put this clamp on here. You can see the back of my seat base actually moving, look. So if you have trouble fitting one of these, the holes don't line up, get your wood clamp and a bit of finesse and they do go in just about. Well, there you go, that's the base screw down. Who thought that 4 bolts could give you so much trouble? Now, there is this little yellow tiny plug to address. Any yellow plug in any vehicle means that these cables are something to do with the airbag system or the seatbelt restraining system. So it's very important not to leave these disconnected. If you do leave these disconnected, you'll get a warning light up on your dashboard and your airbags will no longer work should you need them. Hopefully you don't. So now, because this base swivels, the nut that goes in the middle of here has actually got a hole in it. But obviously this yellow plug isn't going to fit through this hole where we need it to. Well, luckily they do come apart. There is a way of getting these cables out of here and then reconnecting them. But before you take anything like this apart, I'd highly recommend photographing it, which is what I'm going to do now, so that you know you get the wires run the right way, like that, just in case someone disturbs you and you forget. So to take this little yellow plug apart, I'm going to get this little tiny scribe, and then hopefully these wires will come out of here. Right, so I've managed to get these apart. You can see it comes out like this. So these wires actually come out like that. You don't need to cut these. They will actually come out. They've got little tiny tabs and you have to push them down. Right, so let's put the base back on, replace our centre nut and then thread those wires through and reconnect this little tiny plug. Right, so I've got the wire coming through now, so that's all good. Worked really well. I need to reconnect the plug, well, the casing of the plug. Check the picture. Right one goes closest to the clip. Because I've had a bit of a stop and I've had a chat. So good job I took the picture so I didn't forget. You can hear it click into place. There you go, so that's our plug, nicely restored. Easy. And that's basically it, our swivel base is now installed. All I've got to do is put all these back in and put the seat back on. Really should get 2 people to do this. I've caught my bloody wire. Move that out of the way. I've lined up. Get that one in first. Just doing this one up finger tight, that's the first one. It looks like it's more, yeah, it's slightly higher than the driver's seat now. Put a washer on it. I wanted to put a washer on that. Even though it didn't come with washers, I'm still going to put washers on it. Just going to do these up a little bit tight. Not tight, just finger tight. And I'm guessing I'll need to take these out to put the bolts in. Again, no washers, so I'm going to go and get some washers for these. Will they line up? Or won't they? It's only just long enough, eh? Different lengths. They're the same length. Well, I guess no washers then, because if I put a washer on it, they won't be long enough. It's literally just about long enough, this bolt. Just about long enough. Believe that. Probably better for a socket doing this one up, but you know what, I can't be bothered to go and get a socket because quite frankly I'm over it. But Now plug in our seatbelt wire. There you go. Maybe you have to let the handbrake off. There you go, you have to just let the handbrake off, so now I've got to put those back in. Yeah, I can see this can be a bit of a drag, lining it all up to get these back in. I guess it's easier to do it outside than inside. Yeah. What I'm over this. Do you need to put these back in once it's swiveled, or can you just leave them out? I don't know. I think maybe just the front too. There you go. Kind of wish I hadn't took the back off of this now. Because I can't sit here like this and relax. I'll just fall straight on the floor. I guess that's alright, we can live with that. Yeah. Right, lunchtime. So here I am working hard on my camper van inside the barn. I'm just modifying the floor here. I'm adding a little bit of extra floor because I've taken away the bulkhead. I've fitted a swivel seat. And whilst I'm working, this is what everyone else is doing. There's Becky's van now. You can probably hear that noise in the background. It's actually everyone watching my YouTube channel. Here they are.
I had just installed 5 ventilation openings, and I was sure it would be enough to bring
They're
in
listening
fresh
to
air.
Waffle on a Wednesday.
I woke up in the middle of the night, paralysed, unable to breathe, and I had
This is what happens at the barn.
effort.
I'm the only one working. They're all sitting here chilling out in the sun, drinking beer. So make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts.